What's up? This is Cool Justin and a whole host of other shitty names I've been called in my past. I'm doing, because I just finished watching it, Get Out. 2017, directed by Jordan Peele, because I actually know a little bit about the guy. And it's a shitty movie. And it's not a shitty movie because of acting, directing, anything like that. I actually liked how some of the scenes were framed and how they were set up. But the problem is, in the landscape where we have a lot of social tension between whites and blacks, men and women, shit like that, we do not need another Stepford's Wives to just go, look, white people are bad. Especially rich white people, because rich white people will steal your brain. Well, your body, whatever. Going into this, I kind of knew what I was setting myself up for. I saw the previews, and you go, okay, well, I already get this. The problem becomes, and I'm trying to phrase this delicately, when you have every character except for the two black characters that are considered traditionally black. Let me rephrase that, because it's not black. It's not a black and white thing. It's an urban thing. A white kid who grows up in a ghetto is going to have a similar attitude that a black guy that grows up in that same ghetto is. Except for the white guy, by the way, is going to be ostracized from the community that he lives in. Same thing with the black guy who lives in a mostly white community, even with the same economic class. Yeah, it's a real thing. I lived all over this, mostly the eastern portion in Texas, this country. I lived in North Carolina in an area where I was one of a dozen white students. In San Antonio, when I first started moving down here, I went to Wheatley Middle School, where I was one of 4 white children in that school. And I caught shit every single day at those 2 schools, without question. When I went to Roosevelt High School, mostly black and Hispanic school, caught shit every single day. This is something humans do, period. It has nothing to do with your skin color. It has more to do with we push out what is not like ourselves. And this is across the board. It has nothing to do with our skin color. Well, it does, but not in the way most people perceive it. And Get Out, getting back onto the point, is supposed to be this social commentary about, oh, look at this black guy who is incredibly dark-skinned going out to see this liberal family who would have voted for Obama a 3rd time if he could run for it. Yeah. I know a lot of people who've said that exact phrase. If Obama could have run again, I would have voted for him. But these are the same people who said the same thing about Bill Clinton. So, I think it's funny that this movie is got such rave reviews about it. It's an average movie. And it ends exactly how you think it's going to end. Now, when I was watching through the movie, I thought it was going to end one of 2 primary ways. Either his friend actually is able to save him, which, spoiler alert, is what happens because you can't have the protagonist die in a movie like this. Or at the end, when the cop shows up, you flip out, which would have been a better ending, by the way. You see his nose bleed like it happens in other cases. And then you realize that he's still seeing this from a different angle. He is inside of his own mind, inside of his own mind. It's a little Inception-y, but it works. I think that would have been a better ending. Because an organization like this Even though it's like just one family, but obviously they have several clients. I'm gonna say several dozen. They do something that's odd. Somehow or another, he manages to slip cotton into his ears so he doesn't hear the trigger to make him go to sleep. And I don't buy that. I don't buy it for one bit. It is just a mechanism so you can have your bloody fucking ending to the movie. And that's where it really fails for me. Is you have a movie that you could say is mostly this, and it's not a horror movie, it's not a comedy movie. It's not satire, that's for damn sure. The catch is, this movie would have been better if you didn't have the bloody ending. Period. Because you have this actually, you have a really neat premise to the movie. Even though it's just a Stepford's Wives changing out sex, gender, whatever, sex relations between men and women and changing it to race relations between whites and blacks. You end up with this very particular scenario where it could all be in his fucking head. The guy really did have a seizure. He's just freaked out because he's surrounded by a lot of people he's not familiar with in a place where he doesn't know it. Really good. I like this setup. To a degree. I'll be honest. I like where you could have gone with it. Like, the premise, you don't need to have a bloody violent ending. Like the remake of the Stepford Wives, where at the end Christopher Walken gets busted open and you realize that it's not really him who was in control, it was his wife subverting everything that the men thought in that town. Awesome. I like that ending. But this does nothing special. It as a propaganda piece, all it does is says white people are evil no matter how well-intentioned they seem, because they're just going to do something bad to you. That's what I got away from this. This is what everything in that movie told me. I don't see the satire in it, unless it's a satire of a horror movie, and it's not horror. It's not a thriller. Well, it is a thriller. It's a psychological thriller. So, that's the problem, is you have this setup for a psychological thriller, and you try to turn it into a horror movie in the last 10-15 minutes. It doesn't work for me. Now, I'll be honest. Besides the premise, which I thought was kind of weak, because it's already been done to death, the acting was really well done. I like the acting in it. The white girl, whatever her name was, I don't remember her characters' names anymore. I'll apologize for that. The recruiter girl, the bait, whatever you want to call her, goes out, finds the guys, bring them back home to her parents. Her parents does the procedure. She moves on to the next guy, so forth and so on. But the way that would work better is as just a pure psychological thriller. Is it really just in his head? Is he just freaking out because he doesn't know where he is and so forth? And the problem is that you ruin that setting because all of a sudden, yes, these people really are out to get him. And that's where the last 15 minutes of movies like this, slow burners, slow burn psychological thrillers, which is what this is because it's not horror. That's where it's at. You have your climax. Everything builds up to your climax to figure out if he's really crazy, or you leave it open to interpretation. Really good ending? Hell, leave it the way it is. But his friend doesn't get out of the vehicle. You see the flash of light fade to black. Particularly, what you do is you do a fade in like this. I know it has a specific name, but you fade in like this. Bam. You cut away. Then you show credits. It might be a little hackney, but it's a better ending. Because we don't know at that point if that was simply within his mind, whether he's actually trapped inside of his body and he's basically being used as a puppet with the majority of his brain gone. It puts you at a really interesting perspective on what happened. And using race relations, and God, I hate that word, but I'm going to say it for the point of clarity because most people understand it, as the driving force behind that paranoia can work. Because even in 2007, we have shit issues within race relations. And I'm not going to get off on a social commentary about that, but the point being is we do have issues that need to be worked out, and in this movie, it doesn't work on any of that. It basically blames white people like a whole other propaganda movies does, and expect us to go, oh yeah, this is brilliant. So, if you want to watch a decent movie, and it's not bad, like I said, good acting, good directing, some of the way the shots are framed are incredible. But it's meh. Got something to do, 90 minutes or so, I forget exactly how long it is. Sit down, watch it, it's not bad. But it's not going to be anything where you go, oh, that was mind-blowing and revealing. If I want to know what the black experience is, I could talk to a black guy. I don't get the issue in it all. But of course, I'm just a white guy. I've never had to struggle with any personal problems. And that's the way this movie comes off. That's why I go through a lot of the little social commentaries I've done. Is it tries to paint the situation where white people don't have issues, that we're all just assholes trying to get a fast dollar. Or we're trying to fuck over some other person who's not white and get a fast dollar. That's my problem. It's the reason I don't like the movie, is because it doesn't come off as... It's not horror. It's not comedy. It's attempted propaganda. And it's nothing new. Come on, I'm looking at some of the reviews online, and it's like, well, most revealing movie, and if you really want to understand how people think, watch this movie. No. There are much better movies going through from a perspective of a black guy. Or black family. Not Tyler Perry. None. I don't know a black person who likes those movies. Not that I know personally. But then again, I live in San Antonio, and the few black people I personally know don't really like Tyler Perry because they find his work to be absolutely garbage and horrible misrepresentation of the average black culture. But I'm going to end it here before I continue to ramble incessantly. Yeah, it's not bad. Out of 5 stars, I'd give it 2. It's miscategorized. It's a bad... I'm gonna catch shit from this if anyone ever watches these videos. But yeah, it's just not a... It's meh. Meh to me is 2 stars. Peace out, or... I forgot how I'm closing my videos, but I'm ending it.